house that we moved into in 1986. Okay. And what happened was we started a synagogue in the living room.
Oh, really?
We drove by and we saw some little boys with kippahs playing in the front yard.
Rabbi Roden's house, found out we just moved in and they started the shul here.
And as we're looking at the boys, we see Rabbi Shaw walking out of the house.
Well, the early days of Ohev Shalom was built on passion.
I like what you did so far.
Yeah, this is the...
Oh, gosh. A floodgate of memories. This is the whole synagogue.
Oh, really?
I remember when I was 8 years old, every Friday I, together with my brothers, would set up the chairs, put up the mechitza.
A partition. The men would sit on one side and the ladies on another side.
Okay.
And we had the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. We read from it. Right. And we pick it up. And we had a very tall person named Sam Mandelbaum.
Oh, the rabbi's house. For many, many years, I was a Hagba.
He picked up the Torah, he's a tall guy, he was knocked out the fan.
I gained so much from having that experience, having the shul in our house.
Mrs. Roden, Henny walked out. Oh my gosh, she welcomed us like she's known us for years and years.
They worked tirelessly in order to be a home for people to get involved in their own personal relationship to God and Torah.
This used to be our Kiddush room. That we used to go and my daughter shoot a Kiddush.
What room?
This is after the services. We have a little drink, some cake,
some wine.
It was camaraderie.
So this is the blessed house, huh?
Special house.
Eventually, we left the rabbi's house.
And we had to make a big decision what to do, so we decided to rent out a shopping space.
A shul there. Now, at that time, I started becoming Shalom Shabbos.
You had to run across the street. So I called up the city and I said, is it possible to make the light longer because we're Sabbath observers? This is our second place in our growth.
I was really young. It was a studio. There was mirrors all around, I believe. Obviously, it was a much smaller operation. Yeah, I remember being the wild kid running around.
From a living room of a house to this was a big step for us. It was very exciting.
Until somebody found this home where we are now. A 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house.
It was a small little house.
Yeah.
There
was a big tree here. It was not a sanctuary.
I'm a handyman, so I tried to help. They put my name on top of the list on the refrigerator to be called for having the minyan. Sure enough, I was part of the minyan after that.
A window air conditioning unit right over my head where I was sitting that was dripping.
The men's bathroom was a broom closet that was very difficult to maneuver, especially when the kids would turn the lights out on Shabbos. Not to step foot in a mop bucket with water in it.
But on the other hand, one couldn't help but be impressed with the sincerity that one saw here. At that time, I knew very little about Frumkeit.
And I came in, I remember feeling this aura. It was like, wow, you know, I really want to live around here.
It was a growing neighborhood, and also we were one of the first ones to find out about the new Erev.
I think it's the warmth of the community. When people come to visit, really everyone is just so friendly.
When we're welcomed by the community, we've made many friends here.
We weren't religious at the time. I came in and I didn't know anyone, and you know, I was about to leave, but then Sandy Mandelbaum came over to me and said, "What's your name?" "I'm Sandy."
I think Ohev Shalom is special in that it attracts to all sorts, all types, all backgrounds.
We were immediately warmly welcomed by the rabbi and the rebbitzin and the community. This was really not just a shul, but a family.
The welcoming nature of Ohev just spreads all through the community. The kind of place where people come and they visit and they just fall in love with the place.
Being a new person and not having people that I knew here, it's just nice to come into a new community where everyone's really friendly, really welcoming.
So the shul's credit, the rabbi's credit, that even people like me can feel like they belong here.
And so we felt this is a community, a shul environment we could be very good for us, very friendly, very warm, nice davening, nice rabbi, nice people.
Somebody brought us a gift basket, and just because, you know, welcome to the community and information about the show.
First impression of Ohev Shalom was that it was a very warm, more of a Hamish feel, really lived up to its name. Place of peace and harmony, as well as making all Yidden from all backgrounds feel welcome.
It's diverse, it is vibrant, there is so much room for for contribution.
98, Shoshana wanted to put on a ladies' production. So she said, would I like to head up the dance section of the production? It ended up being one of the most meaningful experiences. Not only did all the ladies get together and bond, throughout the whole experience, Henny and Shoshana were role models. They showed us how to bring Torah into everything that we did.
We had father and son classes, which we learned the Gemara with Rabbi Roden. So many activities from the shul learning.
My oldest, Elio, in second grade, he already on his own decided he wanted to learn Amnas Zemiros. The rabbi and the Rebbetzin are so incredibly accessible.
The shul has supported us through challenging times. You know, I said Kaddish for the first time, and it was very emotional because it was almost like the familiarity of my rabbi, my community, saying Kaddish. That's the time I really was moved.
Our brises, our baby namings, our bar mitzvahs. This is the mainstay of our family life.
Everybody cares about everybody, and so we've grown with classes that we go to, being part of the sisterhood, and my kids being part of the children's programming. It's helped our family just become better Jews and be closer to Hashem.
I remember for several years, Rabbi Roden says, how do you feel, if you had a yeshiva here for the high school? And I was excited.
And people told him, Rabbi, you're crazy, it's never going to happen. I suppose people told him that about starting the show also.
Rabbi Roden, the Ohev Shalom extended community are really the parents of TTI.
Register your son to the yeshiva. I said, of course, no question. Where's going to be the yeshiva? Of course, in the shul.
Yeah.
I heard the sounds coming from the shul, and it turns out there was a yeshiva that had just been started. And I was fascinated.
14 years later, we can look at hundreds of boys who've come through the yeshiva, many of whhom have moved into the community here.
This shul has grown tremendously since we came because of the yeshiva that the rabbi was able to start.
The shul grew sort of in fits and starts for quite a while.
We've come a long way. We've enlarged the building 3 times.
The shul and the rabbi and the presidents and the community chose to take the high road, the hard road, the road less traveled. Because of all that you see so much growth. The shul flourishes, the shul thrives, there's new energy, there's vitality.
Tons of strollers in the lobby, throngs of children running through shul and outside in the playground, and a kiddish crowd around the table to grab as much candy and nosh as they can possibly get. It's a wonderful atmosphere for young families as well as older families who have grown kids to see their grandchildren be part of a great big family that Ohev is.
10 years ago, it seemed like the average age was 40s to 50s, and now it seems like the average age is 20 to 30s.
When we first arrived, we were one of the young people on the block. Now, it's like we're part of the old guard.
It's so special for me to have my own children be part of the shul and help out just like I did when I was a little girl.
But even with all the growth we had, it still has that small feel of a family.
How are we going to grow as a community to, accommodate this beautiful challenge that we have?
Now we're looking at this building here, and I'm sure at the time it seemed like, wow, what a big building, and now we're, practically busting at the seams.
I guess the shul is going to have to get bigger at some point. It'd be exciting to be part of that.
People with vision can see what happened in the last 30 years and be able to expand this shul to even greater and more accomplishment.
It's a tremendous improvement, and now it is up to the youngsters to take over.
The shul is by the kehillah for the kehillah, so it's really a grassroots type of shul.
This shul should have failed by all logic, but it never did, and I'm convinced that Hashem has a soft spot in his heart, kaviyachol, for grassroots efforts.